Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears. Live an awesome life. You can do it. You can. Please join me. And I'm going to supply the tools for you to manifest anything. I want to talk about judgment today. This is a very important video because this is a major block to you absolutely going to that amazing space where there are no problems. Zero. Now, what is judgment? It is a thought or belief about something, someone, some situation that you've created that decides what it is, if it's right or wrong. Usually if it's right or wrong. So judgment could be, whether somebody's wearing appropriate clothes or not. That's still you deciding if it's right or wrong. So you decide that's inappropriate, that's wrong. The one does not judge. If you are judging anything, you are not on a higher frequency. It's coming from a lower frequency. That must be eliminated in order for you to go up to a higher frequency. So you can tell me you're awakened all day long, and then the next sentence is, but the church people bother me, but the boss bothers me, but my in-laws bother me. You got to work on it. You're not there yet. Judgment is critical. As human beings, that is the deal killer for us. When we are judging, we separate ourselves, and judgment is not something the one does. Now I know, and herein lies the challenge with us, we've been told that the one does judge. That the one, God, whatever name you want to call it, God, we go over, judges us, and sits on some big Supreme Court throne and says, you did this, and you're saying, please, don't send me down in the pits of fire and whatever. Be careful with that, because you get to create everything at all times, including when you go to the other side. It doesn't stop. Just continues on flawlessly. All right, you'd be shocked when you die. There's just like, there's no long drawn out horrible thing going on. You just transition. And a lot of people who are going into that state of apparent suffering, most of the time, are really not in their bodies. The body's struggling and suffering, but they remove themselves so they don't experience that. So never worry about that. That's no big deal. You are going to transition seamlessly. How can the one, which is the pinnacle of what everything comes off of, how can the one that is perfect, it is love beyond your comprehension. I've experienced it. Love doesn't even describe it. Doesn't come close. Unconditional. There are no issues. There are no words. There's nothing but total amazingness. There's nothing, no abundance to even think about, because everything's always there. A thought just creates. It's not even really a thought at that point. It's just you creating. Why would it, on the highest level, ever judge you? Put you down here in the worst situation, and then if you make a mistake, judge you? Doesn't happen. So don't worry about that. It's not going to happen. So if the one doesn't judge, and we've heard this many, many, many thousands of stories of people who've died that said no one ever judged them. They had to experience their life from the other person's perspective. So you get to experience what you did to other people and how it made them feel. So if you make that snide comment, thinking, put them in their place, and it deeply hurt them beyond what you even imagined was going on, you'll experience that, and then you'll learn that small comment really made a big difference, and it wasn't a good one. So you get to experience all the, let's just say, the repercussions of every action, every thought, everything that you did, so that you can learn that it goes, how far in deeply that goes, which is endless. In other words, your thought affects everything. So you could experience that. What was the effect of everything I did and said and thought and believed? You experience all of that out there. And if it's unpleasant, then you have an opportunity to change that. So the one would never need to judge, because we get to go and review everything, because we are the one. So if you're looking through, if you're reviewing it, you're not judging it, you're just experiencing it and learning, that's it. So why would we as human beings go to that low level of looking at another and saying that they're wrong, or not finding the compassion in whatever's going on? Why would we go to that space when the one doesn't? Well, we are the one, so we're actually experiencing that on behalf of the one. But that's not the essence of the one on its highest, in its highest form, right? Which is truly God. So I want you to know that whenever you make any kind of thought, even though you're, oh, I'm all this, I'm awakened, and somebody who's trying to do the right thing gave her daughter one of my videos, that is a judgment call. And I know, even when you're coming from a good place, you're like, that's not what I meant. I know, and that's the good part. Your intentions were good. But the judgment call was, you need this because you're not okay. And so you will experience what she felt, and that is, my mother doesn't approve. My mother doesn't love me exactly the way I am. She thinks that I'm not spiritual enough, or that this is going to make me feel better, which is why she's not watching the video. So be careful of how far you take this. Judgment goes way beyond just saying, you know, right or wrong. But it is this is how things should be, and I'm going to judge it, so I'm going to place a name on it. It's a block. It's a major one. Because anything that separates you keeps you from your highest power, and the highest power doesn't judge. Highest power is just absolutely pure love and compassion. Doesn't get bothered by anything. Still experiences being human. You're, like I say over and over, you're going to have a personality. You don't, go into Zen, you like this is perfect, the Dalai Lama swears. I mean, we have to get over this whole thing about what we should and shouldn't be, and just understand that if there's one negative thought, it doesn't have to be a word. If there's one negative thought coming in, ask yourself why you're judging that. The negative thought is a judgment. It's probably most of the time about yourself. I'm not good enough, I'm a failure. You're judging yourself that you are less than, that you're not good enough. That's a judgment. This must end. So if you spend your entire day, try this, if you spend your entire day catching every thought, just like the 3-second manifesting, instead of switching over, let's just catch a thought and ask yourself, what am I judging right now? What am I judging? So I'm in Italy. People dress differently here. I think they dress very classy. So every once in a while I see something that's a little out there, It's like something's hanging out a little bit too much. Not that they do that, by the way. That's more American style. I could judge it and say, well, that's trashy, or that's a judgment. Can you look at it and say, girl in short shorts? You don't have to judge it. It's tough because we have been told things should be a certain way if we've been brought up. Like if you're conservative, you might look at that and think that's wrong. So the good part is when you have that thought, then you catch the judgment and say, wow, why am I thinking that? Because I've been conditioned, and I must let that go to free myself from going into judgment. So this is a great practice, because judge means, boom, case dismissed, or you're right, you're wrong, you go to prison, you go free. Judgment means you're sitting up there making a decision about if something is right or wrong. That's all it boils down to, and that's judgment, and that is what we were told by the one never to do. He without sin cast the first stone. Won't be me. I don't know about you. If it's you, come on. Take over the channel, because I don't know anybody who on this planet hasn't made mistakes. So a lot of times you're judging yourself, right and wrong. Did I do something wrong? Let it go. Let it go. You're here to learn. It's whether or not you keep doing it over and over again determines whether or not you're going to go down a different pathway that may not be so desirable. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Greetings from Brindisi, Italy. I ran out my battery, and it takes a lot longer to charge things here, so I had to shoot this in my lovely room. And of course, the ocean's out there, but I think you've probably seen that in a few videos by now. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.